Let's do the AM news now. And government is in high-stakes battle against time to evict illegal miners whose activities are dangerously encroaching on critical gas pipelines. The threat is particularly dire for the Awomaso pipeline, which supplies the newly commissioned 250-megawatt thermal power plant in Kumasi. Energy company JENSA has identified 15 high-risk sites in the Western and Ashanti regions where Galamsey operations are not only damaging communication cables but also jeopardizing pipeline integrity. The consequences of inaction could be catastrophic. A pipeline rupture could unleash a devastating explosion, decimating entire communities along its path. Clinton Yeboah has more in the following report.
JENSA aids in gas supplies to critical thermal plants across the country, including the Kumasi 1 thermal power plant. This encroachment comes at a time when Ghana already struggles to meet its daily peak gas demand, a situation that could worsen into crippling nationwide power shortages if supplies are disrupted. JENSA warns that tempering or rupturing the lines could trigger catastrophic explosions, wiping out entire communities in their path. Vice President of Operations at JENSA Energy, Henry Abeku Opon, disclosed that the threats was uncovered by monitoring teams in Galamsey-prone corridors.
We've identified several prone areas. We have more than 50 communities we've identified as, Galamsey-prone areas where the activities normally interrupt or cut our communication cables. And we've actually identified all of these communities where we've intensified surveillance monitoring systems. Western region, I wouldn't be able to, fully reveal, but there are a lot of areas in the Western region. Galamseys are very active in the Western region. Our pipeline, Western regions, Ashanti region, these areas are areas we are battling and working assiduously to ensure the communities are well sensitized to understand that some of these operations are very harmful to the operations of the pipeline and can become real threats to the community. So we work with the communities effectively to ensure that they accept that their operations these levels of operations could harm and become a threat to the safety of the communities.
For JoyNews, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Away from that, the opposition MPP has vowed to offer protection to its members during the Akyembi by-election, despite the assurances by the Ghana Police Service that it will deploy thousands of officers to the area to ensure ultimate security. The Electoral Commission has, however, announced that it will begin printing ballot papers for the Akyembi by-election on August 20. The following report captures more.
The Ghana Police Service, political parties, and also the Electoral Commission have just concluded a meeting on the modalities and security arrangements for the upcoming Akyembi by-elections. Well, the Electoral Commission has made it public that they will begin the printing of ballot papers for that particular by-elections on Wednesday, the 20th of August 2025. Several concerns were raised by the various political parties, especially the main opposition political party, the MPP, whose representative here, the party's national organizer, Nana Boache, said that the police has yet to give them the assurance that they will deal with the people who perpetrated violence at the Ablekuma North elections.
Recently, there were some few guys who made some comments on social media. The police, in their view, thought that it was a threat to our peace. They effected arrest. And as I speak, yesterday, they were released. So we also pointed this out to Ghana Police, that if you can make such quick arrest, how is it difficult for you to arrest people who've caused these problems over a month ago? But again, they assured us that they are going to have some arrest and they are going to make sure that they instill the confidence that is needed for us to go into the Akyembi by-elections. So that is what they have said. But we have also mentioned it to them that as we speak, we lack that requisite confidence in the Ghana Police, especially because of what happened in Ablekuma North, where the images are all over, the people are seeing. For me, my deputy, he had almost about 20 guys on him. The videos is all over, there are images all over. So we also pointed this out to the Ghana Police.
Meanwhile, the NDC's Rashid Tanko Computer says his party was happy with the modalities that were laid out by the Ghana Police Service.
Deployment plan indicating they are bringing all their regional commanders and then their POMAC members to beef up security, and that they are not going to leave any stone unturned to make sure that there's enough security at the place. And so they are not expecting anybody to come with any macho men or personal security and all that. The EC also brief us what they intend to do in terms of accreditation. They will make sure that all our leadership who are going to do the monitoring observation will be given accreditation. And we are very clear in our mind that the NDC, we are committed to the peace plan, the process they've put in place. But we are mindful of the activity of our opponent who will come in there with dangerous weapons. You remember what happened at Blake Manoff? That triggered all this problem.
The Akwatia by-election is happening on the 2nd of September 2025, which is just 2 weeks away from now. And of course, the stakes has never been this high. Both the NDC and the MPP in particular will be hoping to win this to augment their numbers in Parliament. From the police headquarters, my name is Kenneth Jesse for JoyNews.
Well, the Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikbe, has cited some staff of the Ministry for illegal sale of buffer land to encroachers. The minister made the revelation during an inspection tour of the Accra-Tema Railway as he announces a joint national security and lands commission operation to carry out a massive demolition of structures encroaching on railway lines across the country.
We are working with the national security and we are going to work with the Lands Commission. There's going to be massive demolition of structures that are on the right of way of the Railway Development Authority. And when that is done, we will quickly get the Lands Commission to help us put titles to all our lands. I shouldn't miss words to say that it is from our own workers who are selling our lands to the encroachers. And that is one thing that we are dealing internally. We will not spare any of our workers. If we trace to see that you have sold our land, we will take you on. And you will be ready to settle whoever you have taken money from for us to have these public assets for the public use. We need to reserve something for all of us. Public use. These lands were secured by our first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, for the use of public. Ask yourself, if you are just an individual seeking to take public lands for your own individual use, are you serving yourself good? Because you yourself and your family or whoever you have will also need to move. This is just to facilitate our movement and enhance our trade and tourism. Now you are blocking, and tomorrow it will get the opportunity to expand. Because of you, we can no more expand for the general public. I think that as Ghanaians, we should begin asking ourselves, we still have more land in this country. Why will you want to use that as is reserved for the general public? We want to caution that if you are on our right of way land, please begin to do your own movement before we come on you.
Well, Ghana's waste crisis persists, not for lack of effort, but for lack of political will and investment. With infrastructure lagging and financing unsustainable, the International Solid Waste Association's maiden conference in Accra rallied stakeholders to demand urgent, innovative action. Elsie Texan has more in this report.
Speaking at the International Solid Waste Association ISWA Maiden Conference, the president of Solid Waste Association of Ghana, SWAG, Ernest Kusi, commended the efforts of private waste management organizations, but stressed the need for government to step up in infrastructural financing and sustainable waste solutions that go beyond rhetoric.
We are also having challenge with waste financing. There are a lot of issues with waste generation. And if we can tackle waste generation, we need waste infrastructure. And the waste infrastructure also requires that we are committed with capital.
On her part, the Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Authority, Professor Nanama Brown Kluche, highlighted steps being taken to curb plastic use in Ghana. She assured Ghanaians that the battle against plastic is in phases and it is a battle that will be won.
We have the laws, we have the guidelines to even go ahead with the ban. But we also understand that we are dealing with Ghanaians, we are dealing with people with businesses, we are dealing with people who have a culture of using rubbers. We want to start slow, as I had always reiterated. We ban in phases. So different types of plastics that we have, we want to first concentrate on the ones that gives us most waste.
According to the chair of ISWA's technical committee, Deji Fawule, the era of endless paperwork and lip service is over. He called on all stakeholders to stop hiding behind politics and join forces with ISWA to drive bold, sustainable solutions that Ghana desperately needs.
So what this conference is aiming to do is to bring people together from all sectors, from all walks of life. Let's talk. Let's collaborate. Let's find solutions. Let's discuss what are the problems. Let's discuss who has a solution. How can we implement? How can we move forward? If it's financing, technology, operations, let's talk about it and let's go in the right direction so that next year or 2 years we come back here, there are success stories to be told.
Well, the Central Region is making giant strides toward universal health coverage, with over 20,000 vulnerable people registered under the National Health Insurance Scheme this year alone. At the authority's 2025 mid-year review meeting in Winneba, the acting Central Regional Director, Kojo Setre Koi Thompson, revealed that the region's monthly indigent registration has increased from 1,000 to 5,000, a significant leap from previous years. He expressed optimism that this milestone will place the Central Region among the top 3 performing NHIA directorates in the country. Abigail Esel Nkrumah has more in this report.
At the mid-year review meeting of the Central Regional Directorate of the National Health Insurance Authority, the acting Central Regional Director of the authority, Kojo Setre Koi Thompson, noted that the region is lagging behind in achieving a universal health coverage.
One of the areas that we have to look out for is how we'll be able to achieve universal health coverage as a region, because we are actually lacking behind. Over the years, the story has been 13th in the national ranking. That is not what we seek to do. We want to be among the first 3 in the national ranking as we move to 2026. As we speak, we have changed, or we have metamorphosized from 1,000 for a month to 5 kind for more. That is 5,000 indigent for a month. We are poised and optimistic that we will be able to turn the story around and make the branding very bright and make Central Region very bright and be a force to reckon with. With you and I being determined, dedicated, and committed, I think it is possible and the research can come to force.
On the sideline following the meeting, Daniel Kofi Yamade, the Regional Operations Manager, indicated that although the Central Regional Office of the NHIA reached about 70% of its membership, there is still more room for improvement.
I think looking at our performance in terms of our target, we've achieved almost 70% of our membership. But if we should match it against our population, that is around 38%. Which we think that is quite low, and that there's a need for us to do better. We want to assure the region that by the close of this year, we're going to do more. There's a segment of the population that we call indigent. Those who cannot afford, they are supposed to enroll free of charge. And that's our main target within this period. And we believe that by the close of the year, we should have a lot of our vulnerable people onto the scheme so that they also benefit. Because NHIA is there for the vulnerable, not for the rich or affluent.
The Ijumako District Manager of the authority, Reverend Godfrey J.B. Arthur, mentioned efforts made to register people in remote areas.
By the mid-year 2025, we were able to make some inroads to be the best district in the region, the Central Region. We try to reach the poor in the communities to register them. Some of them in the hinterlands, they are very poor. So in collaboration with the opinion leaders in the community, we brought them together, then did the registration for them. That is what we did.
From Winneba, Abigail Esel Nkrumah reports for JoyNews.
Well, the Right to Information Commission, established to promote transparency and accountability in governance, is facing a severe crisis. Despite its critical role in ensuring Ghanaians have access to public information, the Commission is crippled by extreme understaffing, jeopardizing its ability to fulfill its nationwide mandate. My colleague Maxwell Aklobotu has more in this report.
The Right to Information Commission in Ghana is facing significant challenges as it marks its 50th anniversary. Despite being established to promote transparency and accountability, the Commission is struggling with inadequate staffing, which is undermining its ability to function effectively nationwide. The Commission's head of legal affairs, Stephen Owusu, acknowledges that the current staff strength is insufficient to match the scope of its work.
We are required to register presence in all the regions. As we speak, we were giving clearance for 120 members of staff. Okay, but the Public Services Commission, I remember, gave us clearance for 360. Okay, so the 120 falls far short of what the Public Services Commission has recommended should be the staff strength of the Commission. We are establishing in Cape Coast and Tamale by the end of the year. We need people in those areas. If you look at the staff strength in Kumasi to cater for Ashanti region, we need more numbers there. They're supposed to go to schools, go to institutions to sensitize management and staff, and at the same time monitor compliance. So we need more numbers to be able to do all this.
Despite these challenges, the Commission says it remains committed to carrying out its core mandate. Executive Secretary Shirley Latte assures that the Commission will continue to operate effectively while seeking solutions to address the staffing and logistic constraints.
As a Commission, we continue to sensitize these institutions. We write to them, we train their information officers. They are mandated to have information officers in every institution. They have to have a designated desk for right to information activities. And as a Commission, we go out regularly to educate these information officers and the institution so that they would know what to do when individuals or institutions or the citizens come forward with requests to these institutions.
The Commission urges all institutions to maintain compliance with the Right to Information Act, ensuring a smooth operation for accessing information. This call emphasizes the importance of cooperation in promoting transparency and accountability across Ghana. For JoyNews, Maxwell Akrobotu's report read to you.
Let's do business updates now. And government has released some 9.7 billion cedis as coupon payment for restructured domestic bonds. The Ministry of Finance, in a release, confirmed this transaction. We have more in this report.
The Finance Ministry in a statement did confirm that the payment was made today. The ministry also revealed that this brings the total amount paid by government for the restructured domestic debt exchange bonds this year at 19.4 billion cedis. It also maintained that the payment again confirms the government's commitment to honoring the terms outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding signed under the debt exchange program, as well as aid investor confidence and government's fiscal credibility. The Finance Ministry argued that to ensure that future payment does not suffer, as announced in the media budget, two separate sinking funds have been established, that is, a CD sinking fund and dollar sinking fund. These funds will provide liquidity buffers to aid timely payment of maturing papers and other payment obligations from next year to 2028.
Well, the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Joseph Paddy, says the limited supply of dollars is taking a toll on businesses. In an interview with Joy Business, he urged the Bank of Ghana to expedite investigations into the issue to ensure traders can access the needed foreign exchange to import goods.
It has affected the business community significantly, very widely. For example, some of our people travel to China waiting to get their transfer, and they get their transfer are still not in, and they have to travel back to Ghana without. And then one of the areas is that if you don't pay the invoice value, your customer or your client will not release the goods to you. And even at times, some of the goods will come to Ghana, and for you to get your bill of lading, you have to make sure you pay. Meanwhile, you've sent the money to the commercial bank, but the money is not being transferred, so it delays our activities. We had one of our members who traveled as far as to China and have to come back without getting his goods because the money could not be transferred from Ghana. So it's a worrying situation for the business community. We're still looking forward to a positive reaction from the central bank to let us know why this is happening. And when it happens, when it happens, what comes out is that speculation. We begin to speculate. Is it that there's a shortage of dollar? Therefore, the little one that we have in the system, we begin to rush for it. And when we rush for it, if we are not careful, we see it the dollar appreciating again. So we want to get rid of this speculation that if it's true that there's so much foreign in the system, then where the challenge is coming from, we need to know. And that's what we're waiting for. We're looking forward to hear from the governor again. He has assured that he's going to meet us again, and where the challenge is going to bring to our fore what was the cause, the main cause. But as long as they are concerned, as a commercial bank, they know there's foreign in the system.
Well, let's wrap the business update with what's happening on the commodities market.